Are you wanting to create dependable and scalable income with your blog without it consuming your life? If so, I invite you to stay with me today. You may be a new blogger who's throwing everything that you have into your blog to get it going, and that's normal. But perhaps you've been blogging for a while and you might be running out of steam. You might just be feeling the stress of constantly working on your business. And, that's not healthy. And I know because I've been there. Or maybe you're here because you're at a place where you're ready to really think about your blog as a business and you're really not sure what that looks like. Well, I've got good news for you. Today, I'm going to be helping you understand a little bit more about what you need to be thinking about as your blog is becoming a business. And with that, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Dollie Freeman. I'm a content strategist that focuses with Christian bloggers to hone in on their knowledge, skill, and experience so that they can create a content flow that attracts their target market while being able to position converting office offers while growing a list of potential customers. There's some thunder and lightning going on in the distance because we have the remnant of Ida coming through. So that was a little distracting for me, but we hopefully the internet will keep going and we'll be fine today. So in today's Blog to Business Mastery show, I want to talk to you about the three functions of a business and why you should be doing them now. The key is running a business should look like a business from the very beginning, even if you're just starting out. The more you look at your blog as a business and function like a business, the easier it's going to be for you to transition from new or just starting or even unsure of what business looks like and making those transitions smoother for you along the way as you are growing your blog and your content and your traffic. So this is really key for you. I want to encourage you to stay to the end because at the end, I'm going to give you the opportunity to download this free resource, the Blogging Income Starter Kit. This has 24 pages of pros and cons of all three blogging incomes, the types of content, platform checklist, and much more inside. And it's absolutely free. So stay tuned to the end of this show so that you're able to get this for yourself. Now, how about we get started with today's topic with number one function you should be thinking about, and that's setting goals. Now, I want you to look beyond how most people have you set goals. When you set goals, you might be thinking, I want to make $500 a month, or I want to make $5,000 a month. I want to have 1,000 page views, or maybe you want to have 100,000 page views. Maybe you want to grow your list 100 a day or maybe 100 a month. Whatever those goals look like, that's us focusing in on milestones in our business. The difference between how I want you to set your goals and those milestones in your business is we need the why. Why do you even want to blog in the first place? This is what I want you to be asking yourself. Why do I want to put the time, effort, and resources into blogging in the first place? And most of us will say, well, it's because I want to have, or I want to do, I want to experience. And so I call those that surface desires. These surface desires are where we're able to identify the actions that we need to take in order for us to reach those surface goals. Now, those surface goals are important. They're motivators. They're helping us to track key things that will help us to understand if we're getting towards our goal. But how I want you to really look at your setting your goals is by going into that internal reasons, going beyond that surface into what lies beneath. What is driving you? What is that purpose that you wake up every day and you do the hard stuff? What are the things that are going to drive you through those difficult times, those difficult comments, the difficult customers? What's going to help you to keep going in the face of adversity? I know for me, when I flatline, well, not when but when the sabotaging host flatlined my blog for weeks and then my income for 6 months, I had to go deep into my goal setting and the what's driving me to this, because all my milestones were gone. I had to start from scratch. There was more beyond, just reaching these new milestones again. I needed to get that driving force behind getting up and doing it again. So this is where I learned about setting goals, is yes, having those milestones so that you'll know you're on your way there, and recognizing that. But what I want you to focus on is that pit in the stomach. What is it that's really those hidden things that you really don't say to everybody else? And what's going to help you get through those difficult times? What's going to help you not give up? That's what I want you to think of. And I call that the so that. So I want to have $1,000 a month of income. I want to have, let's just say 1,000 on my list. I want to have 1,000 people that are opening up my emails, whatever those milestones look like, so that I can what? So that I can earn money every month. Okay. So that what? What do I plan on doing with that money? So that I can give it to my family, help, put money into my family's income. Why? So that I can relieve some stress for my husband. Why is that important? Well, so that I can what? And what we normally find, the more we get through these so that I can, what we find is that we get to that core, the thing that's going to drive us the most, the things that's going to keep us going in adversity, in those things that just keep coming to bombard us. When we're doing a good thing, when we're doing hard things, when we're doing things that are outside our comfort zone, it's very easy to give up if we don't have that center core driving everything with us. And it's normally something that we are often afraid to say to somebody else. It's easy to say, oh, I want 500 new page views this month, or I want to make $1,000 a month, or I want to make $5,000 a month. Those things are easy to say. It's easy to say, these are the things that I'm doing, but it's really hard for us to get to that core of why we do what we want to do. So I really encourage you, in this one function of business, go much further than anyone is telling you to do with your goals. Do what I just suggested and keep going, so that what? And drive it as deeply as you can so that you can make that one statement that I share with you inside the blogging income starter kit. It's inside here. I'm going to help you get to one sentence so that you are able to then be able to say, I want to make, let me just throw a number out there, $5,000 a month, so that, and get to that final thing. Keep asking yourself the questions. Why do I want that? Why would it work hard? Would that motivate me if my blog flatlined? Would that motivate me to keep going if I got the worst comment from someone on social media? Would that drive me even if I got the worst review from one of the customers? What would keep me going even if I felt like I got punched in the face? That's what you want on that line. A thing that's going to make you kind of like shudder almost when you have to tell somebody. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to get really nitty gritty and be honest with yourself. Now, the second thing of the functioning of a business is set business hours. And I know you're probably thinking, wait a second, Dolly, why should I do business hours? I am online, and the freedom of being online is that I don't have business hours. I can have freedom. Well, let me tell you, freedom is beautiful, but freedom is earned. And when we come into business, we have to do the hard stuff in order to experience the freedom. So if we come into this online business of blogging and think, I can just do it whenever I feel like it, I can make it fit in where it fits in. all those kind of things, I will tell you, you are not going to reach your goals. And the reason is you haven't become intentional. When we set business hours, we are becoming intentional about everything that we're doing. And those business hours are able to set us up to say, you know what, I'm serious. It's not only on my calendar, but it's on my calendar at a specific time of my day. And what happens is when we become intentional about those things that matter most to us, those around us become intentional as well. And then we have the motivation going into what it is that we're doing with determination, with motivation, and direction. And if you can't have direction in what you're doing, it's going to be easy to say, oh, that doesn't matter. I want freedom. That's why I'm doing this online business. But remember, freedom is earned. And until there is some grit put into it, until there's some sweat and tears and time and energy and effort, you're not going to experience the freedom you desire. Yeah, you can have an online presence. It doesn't mean you have an online business. The definition of business is the selling of a product or services in exchange for income. The only way you can have a business is if you have income to prove that you are actually making money based on the sales of services or products. That's the definition of a business. So, in order for you to get to that place, you must become intentional about the time and energy and effort that you're putting into your business. So, set those hours. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to look like a regular store. In fact, it can look completely different. It can be like, I'm going to work Monday, Thursday, and maybe Saturday. I'm going to put a couple hours on Monday, a couple hours on Thursday, and I'm going to work longer hours on Saturday. Or it could be, I'm going to work every evening for 2 hours while my kids are in bed and my husband might be watching football or what have you. It could be that while my children are doing school or they're having nap time, I'm going to be fitting it in during these hours. Whatever those hours look like, it's very important that you're consistent in those hours. And what I find is that when we are consistent, we create routines in our business. And these routines are important. I mean, they're really just setting it up. Your customers will see that you have routines, your audience will see it, your family will see it, your friends will see it, and then everyone will be looking at you that you're running a business, even before you have income coming in. And here's the key I want you to know. When a store opens up brand new, a brick and mortar store, and they have set their business hours that let people know this is when you can buy my services and this is when you can buy my products. After these hours, my business is closed. And that's the key there. That's the key. If you feel like your blog is becoming all consuming, it's because you don't have business hours. If you set business hours and you're intentional in those hours, you will get more things done, proven time and time again. But the things that you're doing in this business hour should be quality things, not quantity. It's not about checking off the list. It's about making sure that the things that you do are in fact creating you income. It's called ROI, return on investment. Your investment not is just in money, but it's also time, energy, effort, and resources, which it could be in your money that you're putting into it. We'll talk about that in a second. What I want you to recognize is that when you are diligent and consistent in your intentional choices, you will set up yourself with the mindset and habits of running a business, and that'll attract, oh my goodness, that'll attract so much of the very people that you want to serve. So know when you're opened up for business, be intentional during those hours, show up for those hours, but it will also help you stop being so consumed, because when those hours are done, business is done. And the longer you stay faithful to those business hours, the easier it is for your brain to shut off. It's almost like your brain now has that on and off switch, just like turning that open for business sign and closed for business sign on the front door. We need that as online entrepreneurs to be able to have some type of switch, especially when you work at home, to be able to say opened and closed. And that's what business hours will do for you. And it will automatically help you stop being so consumed in what we do. And then the third thing is to set business budget. Now, business budget is so important because I have coached people online since 2015. I have been in the blogging world since 2012, and what I have heard on two different spectrums is people saying, I don't put anything into my blog until I make money. And then I hear other people saying, I spend so much on my blog so that it can make me money. And what I have found is that there has to be a place in the middle. And that place in the middle is an uncomfortable place. When we go from I'm spending no money until I make money, or I'm spending tons of money to help me make money, we come in the middle and say we're investing money so that I can grow my business. And instead of thinking of it spending, I want you to think of it, number one, as investing, but I want you to set a budget. You cannot grow a business without putting some type of money into it. And that's just key. I want you to start thinking of your online business as real estate, like a brick and mortar. You have your overhead of the brick and mortar. You have your rent. That's like your hosting. You have your address. That's like your domain name. You have your cash register. That's like your cart. And you have your employees. Well, do you? Maybe not. But tools work. The right tools work for you just like employees do. So when you look at these different aspects of brick and mortar business, you must realize that even though you're online, even though your business looks different than most businesses out there, it still needs a business budget. You still need to be able to say, I cannot spend or invest more than this in a month. And then you have to have this new mindset to understand in order to scale a business, that budget too must scale. Let me explain. If a brick and mortar, if you are open for a certain amount of time, and next thing you know, you have tons of people coming in, you need more cashiers. You need more people serving on the floor. You need more people helping you there. There's no difference than an online business. When you have more traffic, you have more products, you have more offers, you have more audiences or platforms. You need people helping you or tools helping you work in those different areas in order for you to be able to have the majority. And what I love about or they have the ability of scaling. And what I love about an online business that is different than a brick and mortar is the doors can be closed, but you can also have sales coming in while you sleep with a closed door. So that is so important. The only way to do that is if you have a budget of business tools. Now, if you got the blogging income starter kit, at the very back, I go through my tools of the trades, my top love tools that I use. And I go through every one of them that I use consistently that allows me to keep my store open, even though I'm closed for myself. The CEO may be closed, but my business is still open. And that is what is key. So I want you to be thinking about these three things as you're starting your business and starting to promote yourself as a business and getting that mindsets and habits in place. Now, I keep speaking of the starter kit because I want you to have it. It's completely free. And what I want you to do is download it at blogtobusiness.com/income. When you get this 24-page resource, it'll walk you through so many things that you need to be doing about thinking about where is that income going to come from in the first place? What's the content that you're going to be promoting on your blog? What type of content does that look like? What platforms will you be using? Which platforms should you be using as a Christian blogger? And then the last part of it is how can I function like a business from the beginning and doing them right now so that I can be that business as it's growing so that I can have that dependable and scalable income without the consuming aspect of always being opened in our mind, always being that CEO that is constantly in business mode. So go ahead and grab that at blogtobusiness.com/income. Now, next episode, I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 levels of content every blogger should have. Now, this episode is going to help you really understand that there's more than free content. There's more than what you're putting on your blog. And this content is key to making sure that you're functioning like a business, making sure that you have those products and services in place so that you can become the business you desire to be. Now remember, the definition of business is that you are actually having products or services for sale, and that is producing an income. So if you do not have an income right now that is not connected to your products or services, I want you to stay tuned, because that episode is going to help you understand what that looks like. And more importantly, it's going to help you to see how easy it is to create that content flow that I'm speaking about. The content flow will help you to really make a difference in what it is that you do online each and every day. So to recap, the three functions of a business is: number one, set goals. And remember, these are not the normal goals that everyone teaches you. I want you to go deep. I want you to be really intentional about why you will do what you do. And then I also want you to realize, is this going to motivate me enough on the hard days, when I get hard comments, when I get difficult reviews, when I get punched in the face sometimes? You need those goals to get you that motivated. And then your hours. You are not going to be able to grow a business and get the freedom you desire without some type of investment in it. So those hours, those times that you spend, you have to invest in order to have freedom. Freedom is not free. So you have to put something into it. Set those hours and then set your budget. Remember, a budget is investments, but you have to be not throwing it all in to see how quickly you can grow, but making strategic decisions about where you're going to invest, how much you're going to invest, so that you can grow with your investment and not just go all in and then find it takes forever to get that back. So grow with your investment and see how that makes a huge difference in how you're setting up for business. And don't wait. I cannot tell you this enough. Do not wait until you get there. Start thinking of yourself as the CEO you are, the business you desire to build. The best way to build a business is by building it right from the start. And that means having those three functions in place even before you have the structure of everything put in place. So get those goals set, get your hours set, and your budget set. And I will see you next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time here on the Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you there. And one last time, make sure you get the blueprint or the starter kit. It's at blogtobusiness.com/income. Next week, I cannot wait to talk to you about the 5 levels of content and how important it is to your success as a business. Until then, bye for now.